Hello everyone, welcome to the third part of Figma software tutorial. In this part, we are going to design such a UI design with the help of shape tools. In fact, in this video, you are supposed to get acquainted with the shape tools and you will also learn how to insert photos into the shapes. Very well, let's go to the rectangle tool and I want to create a frame similar to this design. Okay, I click and drag like this, and from this part, I consider the width value to be 400 and the height value to be the same value. From the corner radius section, I enter the value 20 so that the corners are rounded to 20 pixels, and from the fill section, I change the color to white. Okay, now I want to create a square shape for the image part. I go back to the rectangle tool and click here once. As you can see, a square with dimensions of 100 by 100 pixels is created, and since my shape is a square, I want the width and height to change equally. I activate the link icon, and from here, I enter the width value to 380 pixels. I set the corner radius value for this shape to 15 and move this shape to fit in this area. One point to remember is that when I move this shape, some orange lines will appear. These lines help us to adjust the position, distance, and arrangement of elements easily. Okay, I'm going to hold Alt here to see how far this shape is from the main element. Pay attention when you select an object and hold the Alt key at the same time and place the mouse pointer outside that object. You can see the distance of the selected element from the surrounding element using the guidelines that you see here. As you can see, the distance value is 10 pixels from the right side, 10 pixels from the left side, and 10 pixels from the top. We have now created the general frame here. Now I want to write the title of my text. For this, we need to use the text tool. Keep in mind that we'll cover the text tool in full in a separate video. In this session, we will only use this tool to write titles and texts. Okay, I will click on this area. On the right side, I can see the text-related settings. I change its color to this color code. And I set its font size to 28 and change the font weight to bold. Okay, here I write the desired title, for example, Inner Song. Using the Move tool, I drag this text and place it here. As I position the text here, the orange guideline helps me position the text in line with the frame I created for the image. Okay, in order to know how far this text is from the top frame, I just need to select this text and place the mouse pointer outside this text and hold the Alt key. By moving the mouse pointer over this figure, you can see the distance between the figure and the bottom text. I change this distance to 20 pixels. Now I want to write a text for this. I go back to the text tool. To do this, I can press the T key on the keyboard to select this tool and click on this area. I change its color to this color code. I set its font weight to regular and change its font size to 18. Now I come to this part, I write the phrase I want. For example, I write Kelly Owens. Put a hyphen and enter this phrase. Very well, I will move this article in this way and place it in this section. To see the distance between this text and this title, I hold the Alt key and place the mouse pointer on this title. As you can see, the distance is 10 pixels. Let's go to the rate item. To draw the rate, we need to use the star shape. For this purpose, I go to the Shape tool and select the Star tool. I click once to create a star and change the width and height to the same size. To do this, I click on the link item so that the width and height are linked to each other, and I enter the width and height value as 26. I move this star to this section. From the ratio section, I can change the angle of the corners. I increase the ratio so that the shape of the star changes like this, and I can change its color to my desired color. I come to the fill section and I want to use the eyedropper tool in this part. I click on this tool to select it. As you can see here, we can see the preview of the color we want to choose. I move the mouse pointer over this star and click on this area to change the color of my star to this color. I go back to the text tool and click here. I enter the color code 333 from the fill section and set the font weight to regular and the font size to 18 from the setting of the text section. I create an open and closed parenthesis and enter the rate value, for example, 5. I will drag this item and place it in this section. I select both elements by holding the Shift key and move them in line with the title of Inner Song. Okay, this is the general form of our card. Now I want to go to design of this part. I go to the rectangle tool again and draw a rectangle with these dimensions and set its width to 400 and its height to 120 and change the corner radius value to 20. I change its color to white and go back to the rectangle tool. Here I click once to create a square with dimensions of 100 by 100 pixels. I set the corner radius of this section to 15 and move this square like this. I hold the Alt key and place the mouse pointer on this element to see the distance of this square from top, bottom, and left. As you can see, this distance is 10 pixels. Now I want to create an item similar to this image, so I go to the circle tool and click here. As you can see, a circle with dimensions of 100 by 100 pixels is created, and I activate the link icon and change the width value to 40 to make a circle with dimensions of 40 by 40 pixels. I draw this circle, and with the help of the existing guidelines, I place the circle in line with this square shape. I hold the Alt key. As you can see, the distance from the right side is 16 pixels, so I have to move this shape to the right by 6 pixels. Using the right arrow key, I move the circle 6 pixels. Okay, I will change the color of this shape to this color code. And we go to the arrow tool. Using the arrow tool, we can draw lines in the shape of an arrow. I click in this area. As you can see, an arrow is created for me. I change its width to 14. I keep this stroke at this setting. I draw this element and place it in this section. For the titles, I copy these two texts once. To copy, you can press the Ctrl and C keys on the keyboard, and by pressing the Ctrl and V, I will paste this text. I transfer them to this section. In order for these texts to be placed on the rectangle shape, just press the bracket key on the right so that the layers related to these two texts are placed on top of all layers, as you can see. Well, I move these two items and click on the first text. From this part, I change the font size to 24. For the second text, in the same way, I change the font size to 15 so that it is slightly smaller in size. Now, I change the distance between the two, which is 15 pixels, to 10 pixels. To do this, I move this text up by 5 pixels using the up arrow key. Okay, I will select both and transfer to this section. Well, we have implemented the general frame of the project so far, and now it's time to insert our images into these shapes with the help of the place image or video. For this, it is enough to first select the desired shape and enter your system environment by choosing place image or video tool and select the desired image. I'm going to select this image here and click open. If you look carefully, a small image will appear next to the mouse pointer. By clicking on this image, I can add the image like this. The point is, how can I move this image into this shape? For this, we must first select the desired image. From the toolbar, if we click on the crop tool, image editing items will be displayed. I can reposition the image by holding the Shift key and moving the image down like this. Very well, now let's go to the next picture. I select this element again, select the next image from Place Image or Video section and click on Open. As you can see, now our image with small dimensions has appeared in this part, and I have to click on this shape once to add the selected image to my shape. Like the previous item, I go to the crop tool to display the image setting for me. And by holding the Shift key and dragging the image downwards, I move the image to this part. Well, as you can see, we were able to design such an attractive UI with the help of shape tools in this section.